All right, welcome back to C Morning Show. Now let's talk about plastic bags. So Marissa, do you still use plastic bags? Oh, no.
No, because in Jakarta, it was actually fantastic because the Jakarta government at the time had this regulation where they require supermarkets no longer providing plastic bags, which immediately force people to bring their own bag when they shop, which is great.
Sometimes they still forget to bring.
They do. They have to carry.
They have to carry with boxes, or they have to purchase another one from the supermarket. So please remember to bring your own recyclable bag to shop. And basically, there's still many people who lack awareness to eliminate the habit of using plastic bags, even though they're difficult to decompose and have a big impact on environmental damage by polluting the environment and marine biota.
That is correct. Microplastics, people, they're real. So plastic bags, according to research, require at least 500 years to completely decompose from the environment. So if we go back to 2002, that was, how many years ago was that? 22 years ago?
22.
Bangladesh actually became the first country to ban the use of thin plastic bags because they discovered that they were the main cause of blockages in drainage systems in the country, and this created flood disasters. This policy was then implemented in other countries as well, following Bangladesh with South Africa, China, Australia, and also Italy. Good for you guys.
Yes, and today also marks the International Plastic Bag Free Day, so we'll be discussing about aspects related to plastic bags, including finding solutions, the plastic-free movement, and ways to solve plastic waste issue. So joining us today is the founder of Marine Buddies in Tangerang, Samantha Ramadhanti, who will share with us about the negative impact of plastic waste in marine ecosystems. So good morning, Samantha.
Good morning.
Good morning, Samantha.
So first, please share, what is Marine Buddies?
So Marine Buddies is a youth environmental community under the supervision of WWF Indonesia, and we're spread in 11 cities now. So we're also raising awareness about the environment, mainly about marine ecosystem, and we have 4 main focuses that we work on, which is climate change, plastic-free ocean, biodiversity and ecosystem, and sustainable ecotourism. So and each series, of course, different series, different focus, and
different problems.
Yeah, different problems. So we're focusing on each problems in each series.
And what about the problems that you found in Tangerang that was established back in 2019,
19,
right? So you've got 5 years of dealing with the problem.
So the Marine Buddies Tangerang started in 2019, and the first activities that we were involved in was beach cleanups. And the thing is, in Tangerang, we have a coastline, which is in Tangerang Regency, which also bring us to peak area, right? So in the coastal area of Tangerang Regency, you can find like lots and lots of plastic waste. And by that, and if you go to the coastal area, there you can also find mangrove ecosystem there, of course, because mangrove ecosystem is in the coast, right? And the thing is, in 2019, when we first visited this village called Kertabumi, the mangrove ecosystem was covered, and by covered, I mean covered by plastic bags. And it was so
it creates like its own land.
That's the thing. And if you go to another part of the coast area in Tangerang Regency, which is Tanjung Burung, you can stand on the land, and which is plastics and waste, everything. And if you look on the map, you're actually on the ocean. So the plastic waste is already they're being in they're so very
it's like almost like a garbage patch on its own.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! How did the plastic waste get there? Is it because of the communities that is living in the coastal area, so they individually dump it there, or was there like almost like a systematic thing where I think this truck, we're just gonna dump it there? I mean, what's the issue there?
So I can say that like plastic waste in the ocean comes from many factors.
Yes.
The first one is of course the currents and the waves that brings
Yeah.
plastics that may come from Brazil or I don't know,
Right.
any part of the world
Yeah.
to the coast. And also, we also, as a community, we're also trying to educate the local communities.
Is it
of course.
easy?
No, of course not. Of course not. So when we first went there, we asked the local communities, especially the youth and the kids,
Yes.
and we're basically just telling them stories through storytellings and games and whatnot, and they know that it's an issue, but they're not aware of how to manage it, how to
Okay.
actually, what do they need to do about it.
Correct.
So, yeah, so,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, in terms of awareness, like you
Yeah.
mentioned, I believe like for most people, when we talk about environmental stuff, it's still like big words to them,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
So how did you start to educate these youngsters?
yeah,
Like
okay.
you mentioned about storytelling, but
Yes.
does it really help?
Yes. So it's actually very challenging because the environmental issues and climate change issues is a very scientific. They're always speaking it in such scientific language, which even like us people that have educations cannot really comprehend it.
Yes. Or it's harder.
Yeah, it's so very hard. So we try to not minimize. We try to simplify the language of plastic waste and the marine ecosystem to a
Yes.
much simpler and more interactive. So we actually asked the kids and the youths to come to visit our mangrove sites.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay. Where the plastic bags
yeah,
were.
yeah,
Right?
and we're doing treasure hunts there. So it's an arena. It's a big arena there. So they get educated while also playing and having fun and
Right.
see and sensing the whole environment that is actually affected by the whole issue. So yeah.
How do you explain to them what you mentioned earlier already, the impacts of plastic waste on marine ecosystem? It's like, whoa, marine ecosystem, such a big word.
Yeah.
Especially for kids, it's like, huh,
Yeah.
what is that, Kak? You know, it's like, how do you explain that?
Yeah, so we actually, it's a very complicated thing to do, but we try to just, hey, this is where your plastic is going. So
Yeah.
we visited a public school there in the area, and
Yes.
turns out they're actually very interested in that. And like we're telling them, so this plastic will go to the ocean and it will break down and the fishes will eat it, and somehow we eat the fishes and we'll somehow consume the plastic as well. And it is very very disrupting our
Health.
systems as well, right?
Yes.
And the discussion was really fruitful. In fact, like they're very interested. How is the regulations then, and how? Yeah, so they're very interested in that because, like, I feel like they don't know how to do it, how to solve it, because like they're not being exposed to the knowledge of the awareness of managing it wisely and using it wisely. So yeah, it's a communication problem, I think.
Yeah.
So are you happy with the progress so far in terms of translating or progressing from education perspective into a habit?
Yes, definitely. Definitely, it's very cheering me up to do that because like it's so very nice to see that they're enthusiastic about it.
Yes.
And to actually know like they welcome the whole issues about it, and they even ask us to, "Kak, can you just stay overnight here and just play around with us?" So,
Teach us some more through games.
Can you teach our parents too?
That's the point, right?
Yeah.
Usually the parents will listen to the
yeah,
children.
definitely. So after that, like we also invite them again, and
Yeah.
like they already know what's up, and like, oh yeah, this is what's happening, and this is the kind of waste that we need to actually manage.
Yeah, so what do you think is the great solution to reduce plastic waste, especially in Indonesia? Like, for example, right, Yes, I do believe in the power of the people. You know, it's like the people can bring about change. I believe in that. But it's not, for me, Samantha, it's not going to be sustainable when the government is not there.
Yeah.
When the regulation top-down is not there, what's the point? Because I remember when Bali banned plastic bags and then Jakarta banned plastic bags, immediately everyone have to change their habit in shopping, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think since plastic waste issues is a very multi-layered and very intersectional issue, I think everyone has their own role to play. And like us as individuals, of course, have to be aware of our consumption of plastic waste and how are we consuming this and that. And even though there are so many reusable bags being sold in the markets, I think
that's also a problem, do you think?
it's a problem if we cannot really use it wisely, right? So awareness, of course, is very important because like the concept of 3R, reuse, reduce, recycle, reduce, reuse, recycle, the first thing is reduce, right? So the first thing that we have to do is to reduce. And the second one from the government, of course, they're the one that have authority. So they have to enforce the regulations and law enforcement and
policy.
Yeah, the policy. And then private sectors also plays huge part in
FMCGs.
Yeah, FMCGs. They have a huge part in actually doing the extensive responsible stuffs, you know, so they can actually manage. And it's a good thing to actually see that some of big companies are also starting to welcome their used bottles, used products, right? But I think we also need to actually pressure them to actually proving us that how are they going to manage it? Are they just collecting it to not being done? So I think also us as individuals, I think it's very effective to put public pressure to it. So as we can see that like public pressure plays a lot in pushing the government as well. Right?
So outside of that, do you also collaborate or do more collaborative programs with private sectors or local government to boost this sustainability program?
Yes, of course. Since we are aware that we cannot do anything on our own. So
Collective.
Yeah, we need to do collective action. So we've been collaborating with numerous communities alike, and we're thankfully supported by the local governments of Tangerang Regency.
That's good.
Awesome.
And they're very progressive on that. They're very involving the youth communities around, and we're also, since the governments of course have the networks to private sectors. So
yes, they do.
That automatically gives us the benefit of also involving them in our awareness process and the whole on-site programs as well.
Yeah, and today we are commemorating a very important day, by the way, which is International Plastic Bag Free Day, and usually each year they have different themes. What does the International Plastic Bag Free Day mean to you?
I think it's to actually raise more awareness and to actually rejuvenate people's memory of like this is still a very ongoing issue.
Yes.
And you cannot just stop using plastic bag for just a year or two. It should be
a habit.
Yeah, it should be a habit. So I think it's a very good day to actually raise awareness and on just how it is very threatening to not just to us humans, but also the marine ecosystem as well. Because like somehow the threat that is faced by marine ecosystem will somehow affect us in the land. Right?
Yeah.
So,
because you will have less fish.
Yes, you will have flash fish and you will have microplastics in your system, which is not good at all.
No, it's not good to have microplastics because some health research have actually shown that infertility can happen because of microplastics in our body, which is like, we won't have future generations. That's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, the Earth will be happy not having humans. Let's face it, right? I mean, the Earth will be there.
We are the problem, actually, yeah.
We are. Some people even say that humans are the cancer of the world. Some people. But some others who are doing great things,
of course,
not the cancer.
Like Samantha.
Like Samantha and friends.
But okay, one more thing.
Yes.
Can you explain more about, Great Pacific Garbage Patch?
Yeah.
What is that?
I
missed that one, yeah.
So Great Pacific Garbage Patch is a clump of marine plastic waste, which is somehow collected in the North Pacific Gyre.
Yes.
So it is, of course, the impact of how the currents and the waves brings the worldwide plastic waste. And
this is the picture, guys.
yeah. It is as big as 1.6 million square kilometers, which is twice of Mexico and 3 times of France.
France. Correct. Can you see the picture? Here, I'm showing you the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Have a look. Have a look.
Okay.
Boom. This is the 3 times the size of France. By the way. Oh my gosh. This is not good.
But yeah, interestingly, scientists have found an ecosystem there.
Seriously?
Yeah, there's crustacea there, anemones there, and bacteria, of course, and everything. And interestingly that. But still, it's so very endangering to the marine ecosystem because it closes the whole oxygens and sunlight to the ocean. So it's very dangerous.
Yeah,
Right.
there you go. Use
Let's
less plastic.
Let's build more awareness on this.
Yeah, that's actually good. Yeah, today I'm going to reflect on that. What do you think, Tom? Reflect on our use of plastic and how we can reduce it, right?
Yep.
Thank you so much, Samantha.
Thank you so much, Samantha. All good, thank you. And so now let's have a...
We're gonna have a break, but after this, we're still going to talk about this issue, International Plastic Bag Free Day. And earlier, Samantha also mentioned about waste management, right? So next up, we're going to talk to a representative from Kertabumi. This is basically a bank sampah, or a, what do you call that? Waste bank?
Waste bank.
A waste bank, and we're going to talk about waste management with them real soon. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.